Hey, y'all. I hope the new year is treating you well. Today, I'm going to let you make our new year meal with us. We don't do ours, I guess, traditional. We change things up a little bit, and it's not even the same from year to year. We just like to have a nice big meal on New Year's Day. And so that's what we're doing. And I thought, you know what, it'd be fun just to put the camera up and let them hang out with us for a little while. Justin was in the kitchen with me. We're starting with our venison roast, and I've had several people ask how we cook venison. So this is some pieces of venison roast, deer roast, and you can soak your venison, your deer meat, in buttermilk for a few hours to get rid of some gamey flavor. But the way we're making this today, it doesn't need it. So we're seasoning this with some salt and pepper and garlic powder, and that green you see is onion flakes. That's from the green onion that we dehydrated from the garden this past season. And we're going to cook this in a Dutch oven today. So it's nice and hot, and we're going to brown that meat on both sides, and then we'll put it in the oven to cook low and slow. We did have to cook it a little bit faster on this day because we wanted it for lunch. But y'all, if you will put this in the oven on 250 degrees Fahrenheit and just let it go all day, it will be so tender and delicious. We did bump it up. I think we cooked it on 300 for 2 or 3 hours, something like that. And it was delicious and it was tender, but the lower and slower you can go, the better. Justin's going to cut up some onions, slice up some onions to put in there. Real quick, if you're new to our channel and just finding us, I'm Tiffany, and this is our small town life. My husband Justin and I and our 5 children, we live in a double-wide mobile home on a 1-acre homestead, and we share our day-to-day life with you, showing you what it looks like to live in a small town in the southern United States. We live in Alabama, and we would love to have you as part of our YouTube family. Alright, so now that the meat has browned, we're going to take that out of the pan and we're going to put the onions in. What we're trying to do here is just pull some of those bits up off the bottom of that Dutch oven. So we're going to put the onion in, and then I'm going to put just a spoonful or two of the liquid from our pickled peppers that we're going to use. I'm just going to put a spoonful or two of that in there, and it will really pull up those bits off of the bottom of the pan. And then after that, we'll put the meat back in and add in our other ingredients. It's pretty simple, but the flavors, there's strong flavors that really stand out. This is a wonderful roast, and you could do it with pork or beef as well, whatever you like. You could probably even do this with some chicken breast if you wanted to. So that meat goes back in. And Justin's going to put in some of our pickled peppers. These are banana peppers. There's also a few jalapenos in there. These are from our garden this past year, but you could use pepperoncinis, pickled banana peppers, whatever you like. And we put a good bit in there. We're also going to add a can of carrots. Those are drained. So put those in. And I think these carrots, spoiler alert, I think those carrots ended up being my favorite part of our whole meal. They absorbed so much flavor. They were delicious. That's a packet of brown gravy mix. And then we're going to put the equivalent of about a pack of ranch mix. We're using the Pioneer Woman Chipotle Ranch. And then half a stick of butter, or a quarter cup of butter. We're going to put in some crushed tomatoes. All I had was this big can, and I wanted to use it. So that's what we're doing. We're using just a little bit out of that can, probably about half of that big can. All right, lid goes on, and in the oven it goes. We'll see it again in just a little while. Now, greens and black-eyed peas are traditional for luck and prosperity moving into the new year, and we are going to have both of those. This is our turnip greens. We had already cooked those down and put them in the freezer. So we've just got some water in the bottom of our pot, and then we put our frozen greens on the top. We're going to season them really well. We're using a good bit of red pepper flakes. These will be a little spicy, but that's how I love them. It was with a little bit of kick. Season them how you like them. We're also putting in garlic powder, that onion powder, salt, and pepper. You'll see we put in a little bit of bacon grease here in just a minute. And our black-eyed peas, Mama was cooking those. We had those with we're going to have this meal right here for lunch. And then we're going to have leftovers for dinner. And we're going to add those black-eyed peas in with it. You'll get to see that. Now this right here is a much requested recipe when I've mentioned it here and there. And that's this creamy cabbage and sausage. And this is something that we've been taking to our get-togethers over the holidays and have gotten so many compliments on it and people wanting to know how to make it. It's become a favorite around here. So Justin is slicing up that cabbage, dicing up that cabbage. You can cut it however you like it. And we're putting it over in our baking dish. We decided to go ahead and use that whole head of cabbage. And now he's adding in some onion. We're down to the smaller onions from our garden. They taste delicious though. It just takes a couple of them to get as much as we want. And then we're going to do salt and pepper, garlic powder. I don't think I put any of that dried onion in this. And then that's soy sauce. About a tablespoon of soy sauce. You could also use Worcestershire sauce or something similar. Dell's sauce, but that was soy sauce, and I put about a tablespoon of that in. And now Justin's going to cut up our sausage. This is Conecuh sausage. If you can get your hands on Conecuh sausage, that's what you need to do. It is so delicious and it has so much flavor, and it makes the dish go to another level just because of the flavor that it adds in. If you can't get Conecuh, just make sure you get a really flavorful sausage. He's going to cut that up and add that over into our baking dish. And in the meantime, I'm working on cornbread. I'm making this cornbread Pawpaw's way. If you watch the video that we had up on our other channel from Mama's Kitchen, I'll link it down in the description box in case you haven't seen it. But I go a little more in depth on how I'm making cornbread. I like sweet cornbread. Justin does not. And so Pawpaw's cornbread is not a sweet cornbread. And he's been loving the fact that I've been making Pawpaw's cornbread. But I'll leave that link in the description box if you want to see exactly how to make Pawpaw's cornbread. There's my buttered cast iron skillet. I'm going to get that cornbread batter in there and get it in the oven. We ended up baking our cornbread and that sausage and cabbage in the oven together. We put it on 375. The cornbread only has to go about 20 minutes, but the sausage and cabbage, for lunch, we cooked it about 35 minutes. We left the cabbage, how about cabbage? We left the cabbage a little bit crunchy. That's how I like it. And then what we did was for dinner, we put it back in the oven and warmed it through and cooked the cabbage more and had it a softer texture with dinner, which is how Justin likes it. So if you like your cabbage with a little bit of crunch, go about 35 minutes. If you want it to be a little softer, go up to 50 minutes on your sausage and cabbage. And we did cover that when we put it in the oven. And about forgot to tell you, don't forget the heavy cream. That's what makes that dish creamy. So about 1.5 cups of heavy cream over that sausage and cabbage before it went in the oven. There was our cornbread with its nice crispy crust. Our deer roast. Oh, y'all, that was so good. It would also have been really good served over rice. There's our sausage and cabbage when it came out of the oven the first time, with the cabbage just a little bit crunchy. You'll see a full plate here in just a minute. And then I'm also going to show you my dinner plate where we warmed everything back up and we had those black-eyed peas that Mama made. So here we go. Justin's fixing his plate. He's putting his turnip greens. And then he'll head over to that deer roast, and you'll see him put some of them carrots on there. Telling you, they may have been my favorite part. They were delicious. Had so much flavor. And then we'll get some sausage and cabbage, and then finish it off with a slice of cornbread. And like I said, Mama made black-eyed peas, so you'll see where we reheated everything for dinner and added those black-eyed peas in with it and had a delicious meal. 2 delicious meals this day. and brought in the new year eating well and spending time with family. You're going to get to see our dinner plate here with those black-eyed peas. They were delicious. Mama did a fantastic job on those. Y'all let me know down in the comments what you had for your New Year's meal. I love you. I appreciate you. And I pray that God blesses my family and yours abundantly in the new year. We'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.